In 2012, I was commissioned by the Calgary Opera to contact and hold interviews with individuals who had immigrated to Calgary. The intention was to generate a libretto for a new opera. In the conversations I held, I asked participants what had caused them to leave their country of origin and what had brought them to Canada, what that experience had been like. It was a wonderfully rich, provocative series of conversations. I interviewed nearly 40 individuals who had arrived from different places in the world and different cultures. Vietnam, Sudan, Russia, China, Ghana, all over the world. The stories that they told were exciting, touching, inspiring. As much as possible in the libretto, I tried to stay close to the actual text of the conversations. Based upon those stories shared by these individuals, I created a libretto that ultimately became what brought us here. Based upon these stories shared with me, I created the libretto that, along with a musical composition of Arthur Bachman, became the opera What Brought Us Here, which weaves together three separate journeys. The opera ended up focusing on the tale of the escape of two young men from Sudan during a time of war and displacement. Two young women of different faiths trying to arrange their escape, trying to arrange the escape of one of the young women during the Serbian-Croatian war, and a young woman needing to escape Iran following her participation in the suppressed 1 million signatures campaign. What brought us here was ultimately enormously successful. It played to full houses. What was really fascinating, though, and wonderful, was a level of engagement represented by the audience during the show. How international that audience was and how young. It was a completely different audience that attended that presentation. Now, this has led to a new commission with the Calgary Opera. This time based upon another unusual, unconventional set of circumstances. In 1945, shortly after the conclusion of World War II, a fellow by the name of Igor Gouzenko, a cipher clerk working in the Russian embassy in Ottawa, walked out one evening carrying 102 secret documents hidden away in his jacket. Now, these documents proved that the Soviet Union had planted spies at the very highest level in Britain's Secret Service, that Soviet spies had gathered information about the atomic mission in America, and that a spy had actually been elected to the Canadian Parliament and was reporting back to Moscow. Now, this information, when it was released, shattered the fragile alliance that existed among the Allies of the time during the Second World War. While significant on its own, it is, I think, an especially contemporary story, coming as it does not long after Snowden fled to Moscow with revelations of covert information being taken by allies of the United States, or of the most recent allegations of Soviet interference and influence on the American elections. That single event, when Igor Gouzenko left the Ottawa embassy, or changed Igor Gouzenko's life. It transformed the way Canadians viewed foreign alliances, and it completely altered the way the world worked forever. Work on this opera is ongoing.